welcome to the video. Today I wanted to make a special video showing a little bit about kind of what my life is out here in the mountains, showing you a little bit of the view that I get to enjoy every single day. And today's video is actually going to be a little bit different in terms of what I'm going to be talking about. The last few videos have been about depression, discipline, mental fortitude, consistency, that kind of stuff. And while this does tie to those things, in today's video I wanted to talk to you about kind of what I'm doing up here and really where this all kind of came from and the idea of reinventing yourself. So I just want to give a disclaimer. This came from a YouTuber I watch called Jack Hopkins. I think he's a great YouTuber. He's got several 100,000 subscribers, but there's a good chance that if you are seeing this video, maybe you don't know him. And so hopefully I can relay his message to more people, because it's truly been like super impactful on my life since I've taken his advice. So I'm driving into town. I gotta do my laundry, get some groceries, shit like that. So figured I'd talk about this while I'm driving. But essentially the whole idea behind his advice and what I'm doing out here is the idea that you change your environment to change who you are. And I guess before I get into that, let me explain to you what made me want to do this. So for me, the last 3 to 4 years have been they've been great years. There's nothing I would change about them because I don't have regrets. You know, I believe that I had to learn through the ups and downs, but there's been a lot of ups and downs through the last 3 to 4 years, and those ups and downs have come from me trying to figure out how can I be disciplined, how can I be who I want to be and overcome my bad mental health and just live a more fulfilling life. In reality, the hardest part about it is consistency and staying that person, because I guess the best way to explain it, and this is an analogy that I really like that I learned from a different YouTuber named Hamza, but life currently, if you're your old self and you want to become something new, it's like a band. It's like a rubber band, not a band-aid. Life's like a rubber band, and essentially what it is that when you're trying to become your new self, you can build that momentum, you can watch a ton of content, you can get disciplined, make some progress, but that's when you're stretching the rubber band. And if you don't truly believe, or you're not truly convinced that you are that new version of yourself, then that rubber band will snap back to its original place and you'll become your old self again. And I saw this happen to me like 4 or 5 times throughout the last few years, where I got super disciplined, my mental health was great, I was making progress on my goals, getting bigger in the gym, getting leaner, getting more confident, and then I'd snap back to my old self and get back on smoking, drinking, depression, staying home, and just not giving a fuck about life. And it wasn't like I chose not to care about life or I chose to go back to those things. I mean, I did. I'm going to take responsibility that I chose it. But it was more that my old self was still in control of who I was. Meaning that when you're around the same people that you've known for years and years and years, who know your old self, and you're in the same environment and you're doing the same things daily, except now you change, like, you know, what you do in terms of your disciplinary habits, but you're still maybe working at the same place or going to the same school, or you're with the same girl, or you're just seeing the same friends. When that's all in place, it makes it very hard for you to reinvent yourself into a new person, because every time you're around those people, being that new person, there's a lot more friction with being that person. And the reason that I say there's more friction is because people have preconceived notions or ideas of who you are subconsciously, and that's not to say that it's their fault. You know, I mean, when you think about your friends right now, right? When you hang out with a friend, you kind of expect the way they're going to act. It's not like you hit up your friend to kick it and then you don't know how he's going to act, or you don't know what it's going to be like as if you were meeting someone new and kicking it with like a new homie for the first time, where you still don't know the guy that well, but you kind of fuck with them, right? When you're hanging out with your buddies, you kind of know who they are and how they are, and so subconsciously you treat them accordingly. And the issue with that is, let's say your buddy's trying to become this new version of himself, where maybe he's more confident, more masculine, maybe he's more in control of his emotions, he doesn't joke around about inappropriate stuff or sexual stuff or gay stuff or whatever his jokes are. Maybe he wants to cut that out, but then he goes to hang out with you, and then now you're cutting those jokes around him, expecting him to laugh, or you're expecting him to do those things, and now the energy is just kind of thrown off because he's not being his usual self. And that's what I mean by friction. When you're trying to become someone new, but you're trying to do it in the same old environment that you've become accustomed to, comfortable in, and kind of built around your old self, it becomes extremely hard for you to change and become this new person. And so the whole idea of moving away to a new environment is that it's a clean slate and no one knows you there, and it's a new room. You're sleeping in a new room, which for me was one of the biggest things, because when you're sleeping in a new room, sleeping in a new house, now you rearrange that room the way you want it to be, and it's like, it's so much easier to avoid the bad habits. Like for me, for example, in my old room, wake up in the morning, scroll for an hour or watch some bullshit on my phone, because I was used to laying in my bed. Whenever I came to my room and I was like a little bit tired, I just go lay down on my bed. Like that was like second nature. I'd feel a little tired, boom, go lay down on my bed. And now that I'm in a new room, I'm not that comfortable with just laying on my bed whenever I'm tired. So now, you know, you're able to, it's like creating good friction between doing those bad habits that you want to cut out. Because when you're in a new environment and you start to build up momentum towards being the new person, and it's a new environment, new people, and overall just your new lifestyle, there's a lot less things pulling you back to go back to drinking, smoking, and doing all these other things that you would have easily fallen back for when you were just a little bit like falling off of self-improvement. So it's something that I think every man should go through. I think that you should move away from your hometown, and I think you should move away from all your friends. It's not the type of thing that you want to, like, you and a friend go move somewhere, or you and your family move somewhere new, because again, even though like you love those people love you and they mean you no harm, their preconceived ideas of who you are gonna hold you back. If you're trying to reinvent yourself, kind of like I am, and you want to like get into this new lifestyle and this new being and believe that that's who you are, it's a whole lot easier to believe it when you start somewhere fresh and you can truly just tell everyone, hey, I'm this new person. And for me, when I first got up here, the first thing I did the first few days was work out. I sprinted, I cooked my own meals and ate clean, I read, I meditated. And so when I'd hang out around other people, I'd be talking about those kinds of things, I wouldn't be talking about the same old bullshit like going to the bars, or I don't know, like fucking around and doing stupid shit, or wasting time going to like watch a movie or watching a TV show. Like, what's your favorite TV show? I didn't do any of that, because that's not the way I was living when I moved up here, and that's not how I wanted people to see me. Not to shit on people who watch movies or TV shows, they're great, but there's a time and a place. And personally, I know that with me and the things that I want to achieve, those things get in the way and just take up my time. So I decided to cut them out when I moved up here. And the moment that I got up here and got into that new state of being and introduced myself to new people as being this guy who's disciplined, who's in shape, who eats clean, who cares about mental health, who listens and doesn't talk over people, and knows how to like be aware. All these things were things that I wanted to be true about myself, and I tried hard to make them true about myself. But back at home, it was just so much harder to implement them when there were all these expectations, and I already had an environment built around who I used to be. Where I was at in life before I moved out here was I was working a 9-to-5 sales job, remote from home, and to be honest, I was pretty depressed. My mental health was just going straight downhill, not only from working remotely, but also just sales in general was wearing me out. And what had happened was I started to look up different types of seasonal jobs that I could get, where I could just move somewhere new for 5 months, because ideally I didn't have 10, 20,000 saved up to go move to that new place. And if you watch Jack Hopkins' original video on how to move to a new place, his video talks about saving up $20,000 and then moving to that place and using the money to get you by while you try to make money out there. I wasn't ready for that yet. I didn't want to start a personal brand. I didn't have a business idea in mind. I just wanted to get out of my hometown. I mean, for the last 3 weeks before I moved out here, I drank every single day. I smoked every single day, and I didn't do jack shit productive. And so for me, I was desperate to get out of that zone. And I obviously, when you're in it, you're comfortable and you're like, a little bit scared, and you feel like it's gonna be more painful to move away. And there was a bit of a transition period when I got out here where I was just like, fuck, I wish I could go back. Fuck, I wish I could go buy cigarettes right now or go get a beer or whatever. But I got through that transition period and I got to the other side. But at the end of the day, when I look back at those 3 weeks before I came out here, they were pretty miserable. It wasn't like I was extremely depressed during those weeks. I still went out and did shit, but I wasn't saving any money. I was treating my body like shit, even though I knew it was bad for me, which makes your mental health even worse. When you do stuff that you know is bad for you, and you know it's bad for you, but you continuously do it, you wreck your own mental health. You actually degrade your soul. I believe, I'm reading the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and I believe one of the ways to degrade your soul is by going against your own promises and doing harm to yourself on purpose. So, something to think about. But when you're in that state of mind, all you need to do is get out of it. And for me personally, I tried doing that back at home. You know, I tried getting undisciplined several times. I tried eating clean, but I just kept snapping back to my old self and doing these harmful things. And so it became to the point where I needed a change of pace, and I needed to start over and go somewhere new. I'll kind of walk you through what I did, but there's several different ways to do it. And then hopefully, if you're someone who's ready to fucking do this, I recommend you do it today. I recommend you go today, find the place, and start planning it out. And don't delay this. Like, I watched Jack Hopkins' video on moving away and reinventing myself. I watched it like 5 times before I actually took action. So think about that. Like, you're probably gonna fucking delay it. You're watching this right now like all motivated that you want to go do it, but you're probably gonna delay it. The best thing you can do for yourself is take action now. Find a place you want to go to. Start planning how you're gonna do it. And even if you don't know what place, start taking action on finding the job that will allow you to move away. And I guess I'll kind of start going into how I did it. So I found a guy on YouTube who talked about a website called coolworks.com. It's a website for seasonal jobs, either at resorts, national parks, lakes, all kinds of things like that. More nature-based, I would say. And the idea behind it is that you're working at these places for several months, and most of them that I found would provide you with housing. They don't provide food. Most of them, I believe, have Wi-Fi, but for the most part, they cover your housing, or they take the housing out of your paycheck, which kind of sucks. And then you come out there for several months of work, and then you get to go home after. The reason I like this so much is because it was less scary to sign up for, because I knew after 5 months I'm going to get back home. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm moving away for good, and is this the right decision, this and that. I'm like, whatever, dude, I'll give it 5 fucking months. If it doesn't work out, I won't do it again. And if it does work out, then I'll do it again next year. But the idea is just get away for 5 months, and then I'll come back this new person, and I'll be happy. And so that was my thought process. So I went on this website. I applied to a ton of these places that offer this seasonal job. I was looking specifically for ones that included housing, because I didn't want to have to deal with that bullshit of finding my own place out there, having it taken out of my paycheck. Instead, I found ones that offer housing. I applied through this website. I got an interview. The interview went well. I got the job and I got the place, and I've been here for over a month now. If you're someone who doesn't want to specifically look for a seasonal job, you have a specific place in mind that you want to go move to and you want to do it, then that requires you to save up money or to find a way to make money online. Several different ways to do that. I'm not going to tell you how to make money online. Personally, I'm still learning how to do it. So again, that's not really my expertise. Maybe in the future I can make a video talking about how to make money online and then move where you want to move, because that's definitely one of my goals still in the future. But just talking about right now how you can do it is, I would say save up $10,000-$15,000. Seems like enough money for me. That'll give you, a couple months wherever you move to. Live, frugally. Don't spend a ton of money wherever you go, but find a place, either out of the country or out of the state. I recommend getting far enough that you're not like within an hour or two from home, because then that kind of negates the purpose. Gotta be sleek. The police. So I had to put the phone down, but where was I? Yeah, so what I'm saying is, if you're the type who wants to pick a specific place to go, you don't want to apply for a job that's going to cover your housing, which in my opinion is the better way to do it, because free housing, and you don't got to pay for much out there besides food. That's all I'm doing is paying food and laundry, and then my car payment and gas. But yeah, find a place that you want to go if you don't want to do the job route, and save up some money. You can get, if I were you, this is what I would recommend to do: get a sales job, grind it out. Find one that pays good commission. That's one thing I gotta point out. If you get a sales job and you don't have the potential to make $5,000-$7,000 a month minimum, it's not worth your time. Quit that job. Like, for me, I wasted a lot of time working at some places like that promised it but never gave it, and so I had to leave. And I'm not, I didn't waste the time. I guess I didn't regret it. I learned sales, but at the same time, if you're trying to do this and save up the money to go somewhere, go find a job that's gonna make you pretty decent commissions and fucking grind and save up $10,000-$15,000. It's not that hard to do. You can do it ideally within 4, 5, 6 months, right? And again, that's why I'm saying that's option B to me, because it will take you a couple months to save up this money to go do it. Personally, if you want to take action now, you want to get out of here now, and you want to fucking move somewhere new and reinvent yourself, do what I did. Go find a job that pays for your housing. Go find a seasonal job. That way you can just fucking pull the trigger and go. You don't gotta worry about saving up, planning where you're gonna stay, this and that, buying the flight or whatever. I mean, if it's a seasonal out of state, you might have to buy a flight, but the idea is finding a job that will cover your housing and pay you is a lot easier and quicker to do. But if you don't want to do that and you want to go to a specific place like Thailand, like Bali, like, I don't know, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, whatever, if you want to do that, then save up the money. It's going to take you 5-6 months. Write a goal down on how much money you need. Write a goal down on where you want to live. Research where you want to stay. Research, what it's going to take for you to live out there and how long you'll be able to last on how much money. And then do it. Fucking pull the trigger and go. And whether you're going out there to make money remote or start a business or whatever, or you're just going to live life and be disciplined out there in a new environment, fucking do it, because it will change your life. It'll better your mental health. And if you're someone like me who lived at home most of your life, it'll really make you realize that you can, self-sustain and be independent, and it'll make you view yourself as more of an adult. Like, before I came out here, I believed I was an adult. I viewed myself as an adult, but I really didn't ever have that kind of responsibility of taking care of myself. Now that I'm out here, doing everything by myself, cooking my food, meal prepping, buying the food, going to town to do my laundry, I'm literally taking care of myself 100%. It's really made me have much more self-respect for myself and view myself as much more of an adult, to be taken more seriously, because I'm living like one. And so that's just really a huge fucking pro to doing this. And yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be scary, and you're gonna miss your friends and family. I sure do, but you're gonna gain a lot of experience from it. And whether you do it for a long period of time or you do it for a couple months, I guarantee you're not gonna regret it. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you. I recommend go my route, find a seasonal job and pull the trigger and go do it right now. But if you don't want to do that and you want to save up the money, start writing out your plan, start figuring it out, and do it. Because when you're out here, you're able to be whoever the fuck you want to be, and that's the greatest part about it. And I will make a more in-depth, detailed video about this in the future, going through steps on how to plan this stuff, going through more steps on how to live your life once you get to that new place, how to act, how to be disciplined. But this was just kind of like an introduction video to give you an idea of how I did what I did, why I recommend other people do it, and why it's so great. So again, hopefully this helped you. I'll see you in the next video. I'm trying to post one in 2 days from now. Peace.